The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Boris Johnson, has been placed under intensive care. He's in the ICU. Latest reports say that he is stable, but health officials are not taking any chances. Nothing that has happened so far drives home more clearly the seriousness of this pandemic than this. Tonight, the future of the British leadership is uncertain. This report tells you how the situation could lead to a political crisis in the Great Britain.
3rd March 2020. Boris Johnson boasted about shaking hands with coronavirus patients.
I'm shaking hands continuously. I was at a hospital the other night where I think there were actually a few coronavirus patients, and I shook hands with everybody. You'll be pleased to know, and I continue to shake hands. And
3 weeks later, he developed mild symptoms of the virus and went into self-isolation.
To bring you up to speed with something that's happening today, which is that I've developed mild symptoms of the coronavirus, that's to say a temperature and a persistent cough.
Now, the 55-year-old British Prime Minister is under critical care.
His condition considerably worsened, and Dominic Raab, who's the Foreign Secretary, will effectively run the country while the Prime Minister is in the intensive care unit.
The news couldn't have come at a worse time. Britain is struggling to contain the coronavirus. Hospitals across the United Kingdom are overwhelmed. The NHS is under intense pressure. The death toll has breached the 5,000 mark. The number of confirmed cases is 10 times more, 52,000 and counting. And Britons are not alone in their struggle. Several high-profile names in the government have contracted the deadly disease. There's growing uncertainty about the future of British leadership. The questions are adding up. Who will lead the United Kingdom if Team Johnson is incapacitated?
I'm self-isolating.
Does the country have a plan B? And most importantly, who is in charge of the nuclear codes? The answers remain unclear. The British Constitution, with its contradictory precedents, offers no formal succession scenario. There is no guidance for such circumstances in the Cabinet Manual either. But for now, this man has been tasked with running the country.
So in light of those circumstances, the Prime Minister asked me as First Secretary to deputise for him where necessary in driving forward the government's plans to defeat coronavirus.
Dominic Raab, the British Foreign Secretary.
And the candidate who can be trusted to deliver on Brexit. And then unite our party behind an optimistic vision, fitting for our great country and worthy of our great people.
He once ran against Boris Johnson to be the leader of the Conservative Party and the Prime Minister in 2019. Dominic Raab is now the standby leader, the leader of a country which is an official nuclear weapons state. The United Kingdom has 4 nuclear submarines and a stockpile of about 215 nuclear warheads. The British government has refused to comment on any national security issues because it hasn't dealt with such what-if questions in nearly half a century. The last time it did was in June 1953. Winston Churchill had suffered a stroke while in office. But even senior ministers were unaware about his illness. Churchill surprised doctors and returned to 10 Downing Street in just 2 months.
Something that's happening today.
Now another British Prime Minister is fighting for his life. His illness, not a secret to anyone. Boris Johnson may have got his Churchill moment, but it may not be the one he meant it to be. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.